Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. I am driving to work this morning. Last night after the Royal Rumble, I honestly could not fall asleep. I was up for a long time. I knew I had to get up early this morning to go to work, but I just couldn't turn it off. I just kept thinking about what was going down. I woke up this morning. I looked at Twitter a little bit as I was getting ready to leave for work, and I will tell you the truth. I will honestly think that people are pissed. People not happy about Jey Uso winning the WWE's Royal Rumble. People saying that Jey Uso shouldn't be the main event of WrestleMania. It is not 1993 anymore. The main event of WrestleMania does not have to be main event night 2. We've seen in WWE that everybody treats main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania just as well as main eventing night 2. They refer to the Usos, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn as, WrestleMania main eventers. They put them over as ending that show with that tag team match as being like the match everybody came to see that night. I'll tell you the truth, this year might be a little bit different, but I think when most people buy their tickets, besides for like WrestleMania 28, I think when people buy their tickets to go to WrestleMania, they don't even know what match is going to be there. As I bought my WrestleMania ticket, people were thinking that we were going to get like a Roman Reigns versus The Rock versus Cody Rhodes. I was holding on to it last night thinking that maybe The Rock would show up number 30. I was even in desperation mode thinking maybe he'd come out as number 31 since he's the final boss. He makes up his own rules. But those are out the window. We all read the rumors about Logan Paul versus John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And I really think that this match really could happen. I picked Jey Uso as a dark horse to win the Rumble. And then as I was watching more of Monday Night Raw and falling into the product, I really felt that on Monday, when he came out and he just did a full-on Yeet concert for 10 minutes before he even got up on the announce table, and he started his whole promo deal where he admitted that he lost, said that he thought he had Gunther, but he's going to come out and he's going to do his best to win the Royal Rumble. That right there was when I knew he punched his ticket. You go back to the Saturday night's main event match. Jey Uso had Gunther. He really, really did. He hit him with the 3 big moves. He hit him with the super kick, the splash. He went for the 1-2. Gunther kicked out, and then he went to go hit him again, and that's when Gunther intercepted him, hit him with the 2 power bombs. 1, 2, 3, and it's over. A lot of different ways that this could be going. I don't know. I think it opens the door to a whole lot more. John Cena, when the match was over, that besides for when John Cena embraced the hate during the Kane feud, that was probably as close as we ever saw to a John Cena heel turn in WWE. He came in, he was disgruntled, he really wanted to win the Rumble so he can go to his last WrestleMania and be in the main event. He said in the press conference at the end that he's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. He believes that due to everything he's done in WWE, he deserves to just be in there. Triple H granted him that, said that he did not need to qualify. We're going to be set up for one hell of an Elimination Chamber. I think that it's going to be really spicy in the next month heading to Toronto. you've got a lot of big names in there, and those big names are all pissed at each other. Biggest report that came out after the Royal Rumble is that, surprise, surprise, Drew McIntyre got mad. Drew McIntyre stormed out of the arena before the Royal Rumble was even over. We've read this story not once, not twice, a million times. Probably the most famous time that Drew was mad was Survivor Series War Games, when CM Punk came back and he was like so disgruntled. People said it was because he didn't have a contract, and they thought maybe they brought Punk in so they wouldn't have to re-sign McIntyre. One of the things in the report said that McIntyre was upset that he was eliminated. He said that it got messed up because somebody had to get their stuff in, and maybe he wasn't supposed to go out. I thought it was weird that there was a final 3 spot in the Royal Rumble. It's normally, once you get down to like a final 4, that's when they kind of cool everything down, let it settle. Maybe the heels tried to join some sort of like an alliance with each other. And the baby faces, started getting in the corner, like cowering, and like, how the hell am I going to do this? I've seen a lot of Royal Rumbles in my day. I think it's the only time I've ever seen a final 3. Maybe McIntyre was still supposed to be in there. If you think about, what was going down on the outside at that time, was Rollins, Roman, and Punk all fighting each other. If McIntyre was still in the ring, maybe he could have been the one that eliminated Punk, and then he could have took credit for eliminating all 3 of his problems at the time. And I definitely don't think McIntyre was going to win. I think McIntyre is going to be fine, other than the story being out there, because he's Drew McIntyre. He's gonna be in the chamber. If there's going to be 6 guys, there's going to be McIntyre, Cena, Roman, Punk, Rollins, and it seems like they have to have some sort of a babyface in there to make the 6th. But that thing is jam-packed. Quite possibly, off the top of my head, that could be like the biggest names ever inside of an Elimination Chamber. This really could be one of the biggest ones. And since I think that Jey Uso is going to say that he wants to fight Gunther, this is basically for a shot to fight against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. All the people that are complaining that the wrong person won the Rumble, this isn't the right guy. Why not just have Jey beat Gunther at Saturday night's main event, and they'd already be champion? It's telling the story, building him up. This is a guy who came from being a tag team wrestler. I tell the story all the time about in a Royal Rumble pool, I drew a number, and one of the Usos came out, and I already knew I lost. He is a guy on paper that just does not make sense. In WCW at one point, they pushed Hawk as like a main event singles guy because Animal was injured, and they wanted to keep, the power of the Road Warriors going. And when you look back and see like Hawk going up against Ric Flair, or Hawk teaming with Sting, it kind of really doesn't make sense because you weren't in the moment and you weren't watching the product as it was going down. I will tell you the truth. Jey Uso could go on to be one of the greatest singles wrestlers of our generation from here on out, if that's what WWE wants them to do. But I think there's going to come a point when the Usos need to get back together, so they don't just have Jimmy out there just kind of like, I don't want to say floundering, but so at least they can get it back on track. The Usos are looked at as one of the greatest tag teams there is, not only in WWE, but in wrestling. Those guys are so good, and from where they've came from, to me, I think they kind of got on my map of like, oh, these guys are really good during the Usos penitentiary era. I remember when they were the Usos. I remember when they came out and they took the Hart Dynasty down. I remember when they started painting their face and doing the dance, and that's when they sort of like got back on Monday Night Raw after being like in Superstars Purgatory. But when they started doing that, that was kind of like, oh, these guys are good. You know, they're really, really good. So on paper, you know, even right now, you write down all of the Royal Rumble winners. I don't know who stands out as the craziest one. You got to remember what was going down at the time. But to me, like Alberto Del Rio, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Jey Uso are probably the three names of Royal Rumble winners that stand out the most. That kind of like, I wonder what was going on here. Didn't really make a lot of sense. Del Rio was really, really over a few different times in WWE. Things went bad for him. They ended up releasing him. He's never been able to really come back. If you don't know really what he's doing, and I guess he wrestles like in Mexico or something like that, you'd be like, I bet there's a generation of people who don't even know who Del Rio is. I mean, Nakamura is still in WWE. He's United States champion right now. But, you know, I really thought he was going to be a really, really big deal. And, you know, he ended up winning the Rumble, going to WrestleMania. It was supposed to be some sort of a dream match. Their rematch from Japan that had happened in the January before. And disqualification at WrestleMania. Doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. But I think we're on the road to WrestleMania. I think we're on the road, we're on the fast lane to Elimination Chamber right now. I remember when they brought that out as a pay-per-view before the pay-per-view to try to get a little bit more hype going towards WrestleMania. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm more pumped than ever. I got my bag pretty much halfway packed. I got to throw some socks and some underwear in there and get all my wires and jazz like that, so I'm good to go. But big time excited. I thought last night was awesome. I don't know if you are upset that Jey Uso won, and I don't think you've been watching WWE for the last few months. I really don't.